Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we really try to get into fascinating topics, help you get properly informed fast.
Great to be here.
So today, we're stepping into a world of tech that's, pretty far from the sleek phones or laptops we use every day.
Mm-hmm. Very different.
Imagine, like, a tablet you could drop 5 feet onto concrete,
Yeah.
or hose it down, or leave it out in freezing weather, and it just keeps working.
That's basically a rugged computer, yeah. They're built tough.
Exactly. For places where your normal laptop just wouldn't last 5 minutes, think construction sites, military ops, emergency services.
Deep underground in mines, places like that.
Right. So our mission today is to unpack the really remarkable growth story of this global rugged computer market.
We've got a pretty detailed market report here.
Yeah, we've been digging through it, pulling out the key numbers, the trends, just to give you a clear, concise idea of where this vital specialized tech is heading.
It's a fascinating niche.
It really is. So what's the plan? We'll kick things off with a global snapshot, the big picture growth.
Right.
Then we'll zoom into specific regions: North America, Europe, Asia Pacific.
South America, Middle East, Africa too.
Exactly. See who's really driving things in this robust sector. So let's dive in.
Okay. Well, it's easy to kind of overlook markets like this, right? Because they're not directly consumer facing.
Yeah, you don't see ads for them usually.
Exactly. But what's really striking is just how big this niche market actually is already and its potential for growth.
Okay.
So get this. Back in 2021, the global rugged computer market had sales revenue of nearly $1.94 billion.
Wow. Billion with a B.
Mhm.
Almost $2 billion just for tech designed to take a beating.
Yeah, it's substantial.
And that's just the starting point, right? The projections look even bigger.
They do. We're looking at a jump to over $2.3 billion by 2025,
Okay.
and then a really significant leap to over $3.3 billion by 2033.
So like you said, not just a quick bump. This is a sustained, strong upward trend.
Absolutely. And that sustained expansion, you can see it clearly in the compound annual growth rate, the CAGR. So from 2025 through to 2033, the market's projected to grow at an average annual rate of about 4.6%.
4.6%. That
Yeah.
Consistency, it tells you something.
It does. It tells us the demand isn't just temporary. It's really being driven by fundamental shifts in how industries operate, globally. They need tech that simply won't fail them.
Okay, so let's shift focus a bit regionally. Because North America really stands out here, doesn't it? It seems like a real heavyweight.
It absolutely is. In 2021, North America contributed a massive $690 million. That made it the largest regional market by far.
Huge share.
And by 2033, that's projected to climb over $1.1 billion,
Wow.
with a solid annual growth rate, a CGR of about 4.1%.
Those numbers definitely underline North America's dominance. What is it specifically, do you think, that allows it to keep such a large slice of this specialized market?
Well, that's a good question. Within North America, the United States it's the giant. It accounted for over $536 million back in 2021. And that's expected to grow to over $860 million by 2033. The growth rate there is about 4% annually.
And what's fueling that in the U.S.?
It's coming from a lot of places: extensive logistics networks, obviously military applications, and just the ongoing digitization of, field services, manufacturing.
Makes sense.
And Canada's showing strong growth, too, projected to jump from nearly 94 million up to over 162 million. That's an impressive 4.7% annual growth rate.
Higher than the U.S. rate, even.
Yeah, slightly higher CGR there. And Mexico's expanding nicely, too, growing from about 60 million to nearly 100 million, with around a 4.3% growth rate, probably driven by its growing industrial and automotive sectors.
Okay, so North America's got a clear stronghold.
Yeah.
But what about Europe? With its deep industrial roots, let's turn there. The story seems a bit different, but still pretty compelling.
Yeah, Europe's significant, too. In 2021, the market there was worth around $463.5 million.
Right.
And it's expected to reach over $756 million by 2033. So that's an annual growth rate of about 4.2% overall for the region.
And within Europe, any standouts?
Well, Germany actually shows the strongest projected growth, close to a 5% annual rate.
Real? Okay.
Yeah, moving from about 85 million up to over 150 million, which, isn't that surprising given Germany's powerful manufacturing and automotive industries? They rely heavily on this durable tech on factory floors, in supply chains.
Makes perfect sense.
The UK also shows pretty robust expansion, about 4.5% annual growth, moving from around 71 million to 120 million. That probably reflects its strong field services, public safety sectors.
Okay.
And then other major economies like France, Italy, Spain, they're also seeing solid, consistent growth, mostly in the 3.5 to 4.5% range. So it shows pretty widespread adoption across the continent.
Now, something that really jumped out at me when we were looking through this report was Asia Pacific.
Ah, yes.
This region isn't just growing. It seems to be the fastest growing region in the whole market. Is that right? The TR looked really high.
That's absolutely correct. It's clocking in with an impressive 5.47% annual growth rate.
Wow.
Starting from just over 512 million in 2021, it's projected to hit nearly 970 million by 2033.
That's almost doubling in about a decade. What's
Yeah.
behind that incredible acceleration?
Yeah, that high growth path in Asia Pacific is really fascinating, and it's being powered by some seriously dynamic economies. China, for instance,
Right.
with its massive manufacturing base, ambitious infrastructure projects, it's leading the charge in APAC. It's the largest market within the region, showing over 5.6% annual growth,
Okay.
jumping from about 144 million to nearly 280 million by 2033. And that's not just a number, right? It reflects the sheer scale of their industrial digital transformation. They need devices that can survive everything from factory floors to huge construction sites.
Incredible scale.
But look at India, even more remarkable growth, about a 6.6% annual rate.
6.6, that's huge.
It is, projecting from about 53 million up to over 113 million. That kind of pace points to its rapidly expanding logistics, e-commerce, public infrastructure work.
Okay.
Singapore is also very strong, over 5.7% annual growth. And Southeast Asia as a whole has a robust 5.9% annual growth rate.
So really broad strength across the region.
Definitely. Japan, South Korea, Australia, Taiwan, they're all significant contributors too, all showing solid growth. It just reinforces how dynamic that part of the world is right now for this tech.
Okay, let's maybe turn our attention now to South America, an emerging market, maybe,
Yeah.
but with significant potential.
Yeah, definitely emerging potential there. In 2021, their market size was around $118 million.
Right.
And it's projected to grow to over 210 million by 2033. That comes out
This audio was created with Podcastle.ai.
to over 210 million by 2033. That comes out to a pretty healthy 4.9% annual growth rate.
Nearly 5%. That's strong for an emerging market.
It is, and South America's growth seems quite spread out, pointing to developing industrial needs across the continent. Argentina, for example, shows really strong growth at a 5.4% annual rate, going from about 22.5 million up to over 42 million. That could be reflecting, its expanding agricultural sector, or maybe growing demand in energy and mining where devices face intense conditions, heat, dust, vibration.
Makes sense for rugged tech.
Brazil, which is the largest market in the region, is growing at about 4.8% annually, from roughly 48 million to nearly 85 million.
Still very solid.
Yeah. And we also see strong numbers from Chile, about 5.2% annual growth, Colombia around 4.5%, and Peru at 4.7%.
So it really demonstrates this increasing need for rugged solutions across the continent. Industries are clearly investing in this resilient tech for tough operating environments.
Exactly.
What about the Middle East? Also making solid progress, perhaps a less obvious growth story, but still compelling.
Indeed. Their market was recorded at about $81.5 million in 2021,
Okay.
and it's projected to reach over $143 million by 2033. That's at a 4.8% annual growth rate. So again, solid progress from diverse economies there.
Any particular highlights in the Middle East?
Actually, yes. Within the Middle East, the UAE has the highest projected annual growth rate in the region, almost 5.5%.
Interesting. Higher than the regional average.
Yeah. Increasing from about 13.3 million to over 25 million. And that likely reflects its rapid infrastructure development, those big logistics hubs, even burgeoning tourism sectors, maybe using rugged devices for outdoor services or management.
Right.
Turkey is close behind, over 5.1% annual growth. Saudi Arabia, which is the largest market there, is growing at about 4.9% annually.
Yeah.
Probably its large-scale industrial projects and reliance on durable equipment in its, oil and gas sectors.
Of course.
And then Qatar and Egypt also show consistent growth, all adding to the region's expansion.
Okay, last but not least then, let's look at Africa. We're talking developing potential here.
Yes, definitely. In 2021, the market size there was around $73.7 million,
Okay.
growing to over $128 million by 2033. That's a 4.2% annual growth rate. It's a compelling story of a market really taking root and expanding, often in some very challenging environments.
And within Africa.
In Africa, South Africa shows the strongest growth, about a 4.8% annual rate. Figures moving from around 29 million up to nearly 55 million.
And that's likely due to?
Probably its mature mining sector, growing logistics, other industrial operations.
Right.
Nigeria also shows pretty robust growth, going from about 11 million to nearly 20 million. That's a 4.4, nearly 4.5% annual rate, likely driven by its large population and developing infrastructure needs.
So taking it all together.
Yeah, what's really striking when you look at all these regions is how the numbers show consistent, robust growth almost everywhere. It just demonstrates this increasing reliance globally on durable computing solutions in all sorts of industries: logistics, defense, field service, manufacturing, even in the most demanding places.
So, okay, let's bring it back. What does all this mean for you, listening? Well, knowing these trends, it seems incredibly valuable, whether you're looking for business insights or just trying to understand these big global tech shifts.
Or maybe just pure curiosity about where technology is going.
Exactly. The data clearly paints a picture of a market that's not just growing, but becoming, well, more and more essential to how things get done worldwide.
Yeah.
Powering industries that often operate kind of behind the scenes.
Yeah, and if we try to connect this to the bigger picture, these precise numbers, they tell us more than just market size, right? They really reveal the global distribution of industries that need high performance, durable tech. Think about like the expansion of smart logistics we talked about in Asia, or the ongoing modernization of defense in North America, the critical needs of field services out in all weather in Europe, or those heavy industries like mining and agriculture in South America and Africa.
All places where standard tech just fails.
Exactly. These are all sectors where innovation and investment are flowing, and they require this resilient tech that can handle challenging environments and just keep operations running smoothly no matter what.
So, okay, here's maybe a final provocative thought for you to chew on as we wrap up. What might this continued significant growth in rugged computing actually suggest about the future of work and industry itself?
Interesting angle.
I mean, if more and more essential tasks, even maybe tasks traditionally done by people, start requiring devices that can withstand these extreme conditions, what does that imply about the environments we're operating in?
Or maybe the increasing complexity and just the demands of our technological infrastructure itself.
Yeah. And what new applications might pop up? Perhaps things we haven't even thought of yet as these markets mature and expand even further.
That's a great question. What's next for tech that's built to last?
Exactly. We'll leave you with those questions to ponder as you continue your own deep dive. Okay, imagine this for a second. A computer, right? But it's not just surviving. It's actually working perfectly inside, say, a blast furnace. Or maybe picture it running smoothly through a massive dust storm. Or sending back crucial data from miles underground, where the air is full of nasty stuff. Most electronics. They'd be toast, instantly. But these things, they exist. Today we're doing a deep dive into rugged computers. This is all about that specialized tech. The kind that's built to really perform where normal electronics just completely fail. So our journey today, and this is all based on the sources you sent over, it isn't just about what they are. We want to uncover what's driving their growth, because it seems pretty rapid, and find out the surprising places they pop up. Also the hurdles they face, because it can't be easy. And what's next for these really durable, often kind of hidden bits of tech? Think of this as your shortcut to getting the inside scoop on the tech that literally goes where other tech just can't. So let's unpack what rugged really means in this context. When we talk about rugged computers, we're talking about durability that's just way beyond even like a high-end gaming laptop, right? My own laptop gives up if I look at it funny, let alone dealing with serious heat or dust.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the difference is huge. What's really interesting here is that these machines, they're designed from the core components outwards for extreme conditions. They aren't just, standard computers shoved into a tough box. Take something like integrated night vision, for example.
Night vision built into the computer.
Exactly. We're talking about thermal imaging, maybe image intensification sensors built right in.
Okay.
It lets the computer or the person using it see heat signatures or amplify tiny amounts of light in total darkness. Think about Autonomous drones inspecting pipelines at night, or soldiers operating where there's zero light. The computer actually helps enhance what a human can perceive.
Wow, okay. That's a serious capability. So, obviously the military uses this stuff. But where else are these machines making a big difference?
Well, military and defense are definitely big users, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for things like communication systems, control systems that just cannot fail. But the applications, they're actually incredibly varied. If you look bigger picture, you see them in heavy industry all the time. Running factory automation, tracking products really precisely, handling quality control, quality assurance, stuff like that. They're also crucial in vehicle-mounted systems, police cars, mining trucks, you name it. And yeah, even in some very niche consumer electronics where extreme durability is, well, the main selling point.
Okay, a factory floor is definitely tough. Dust, vibrations, maybe chemicals. But what are some of the maybe less obvious stresses there that these rugged machines are specifically built for, not just drops and dust?
Right, and that brings up a really important point. Why does this level of toughness matter so much? It's not just about, surviving a drop. It's really about turning what would be operational risk into guaranteed uptime and safety. Think about the cost if something fails in a mine or a chemical plant. It's not just lost production, it could be a serious safety issue. If someone has to go into a hazardous area to fix or retrieve a normal failed device. So these rugged machines, they provide that crucial continuous data collection, processing in conditions that would just shut down standard gear. They're really essential for efficiency and keeping people safe.
Okay, that makes sense. So given they can handle all that, it sounds like demand must be really taking off. What's driving that growth? Is it just more dangerous jobs or something else going on?
It's more fundamental, I think. The growth, which is pretty strong, it's really being driven by a deeper shift in technology itself. We're seeing a big boost in demand because companies are adopting more sophisticated tech, things like augmented reality AR.
Ah, like overlaying digital info onto the real world.
Exactly, like a technician wearing smart glasses, seeing repair instructions overlaid on the machine they're fixing, and also the Internet of Things, IoT, that huge network of connected devices all gathering and sharing data. These advanced applications, they need hardware that can survive out there in the real.
This audio was created with Podcastle.ai.
Advanced applications, they need hardware that can survive out there in the real, often harsh world.
Right. So AR and IoT are directly pushing the need for rugged computers. I can see how, like a construction manager needs a tough tablet for AR blueprints on site.
Yeah.
But how does IoT, just the sheer number of connected things, really boost demand?
Well, it connects back to this broader trend of industries just becoming more data-driven, more automated. You've got industrial fleets getting bigger, more focus on automated manufacturing, automated operations, and all of that creates this huge need for reliable, tough hardware that can constantly collect data from sensors, control machinery, send information back even when conditions are terrible. IoT needs real-world data, right? And these rugged computers often act as that vital, really resilient link between the physical world and the digital systems analyzing it all.
That makes total sense. The data's got to come from somewhere, even if somewhere is a pretty nasty place. But, okay, with all this amazing tech and growing demand, there must be roadblocks, right? It can't all be smooth sailing for this market.
No, definitely not. There are actually several things holding back growth, or at least slowing it down. One big one, and this might surprise you, is just a lack of awareness. People don't always know about the real long-term benefits.
Really. Awareness. I'd have thought for something like an oil rig, the value proposition would be crystal clear.
You'd think so. But it's a bit of a paradox. Industries need this tech, but sometimes the people making the buying decisions, they don't fully grasp the total cost of ownership, The savings from less downtime, the productivity gains, the safety improvements. They just see the initial price tag.
Huh. Okay, that's interesting. So awareness is one issue. What else is hindering wider adoption? Is it just the cost?
Well, beyond that awareness gap, there's also a real challenge with not having enough technical expertise, a shortage of skilled people. Especially in some emerging economies, this can be a major barrier. You need people who can implement and maintain these systems effectively. And yes, cost is definitely a factor too. Modern rugged computers, they aren't cheap. That makes them harder to justify in markets that are very price sensitive. And one more thing, sometimes technological innovation in this specific rugged space can be a bit slower in certain regions. So industries might not see a compelling enough reason to upgrade from older, maybe less capable, but familiar systems.
Right. That sounds like a common hurdle for really specialized tech. Is it just about educating people better, or is there something deeper about changing how industries think about upfront cost versus long-term value?
It's probably both, really. I mean, the insight here is that this market isn't just selling a tough box. It's selling operational resilience. It's selling efficiency under pressure. And selling that requires more than just a product demo. It needs a deeper educational effort, focusing on that total cost of ownership, the strategic edge, not just the price on the invoice.
Okay, thinking about where ruggedness is just absolutely essential, like no compromises allowed, which markets are really pushing the boundaries of this tech right now?
Yeah, we zoom out a bit. Two sectors really stand out as needing this critical level of performance. First, definitely defense and aerospace. These devices are completely essential there. They have to withstand just incredible conditions. Think about the high vibration on an aircraft, or the fine dust in desert operations, or massive temperature swings from Arctic cold to desert heat. Then with defense budgets generally going up worldwide and military operations getting more and more digitized, well, rugged computers are vital, keeping those communication and control systems running no matter what.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah, they're literally on the front lines, keeping critical systems online in places that are just incredibly tough. Where else is that level of resilience not just nice to have, but totally fundamental?
The second big area would be resource industries and remote operations, so oil and gas, mining, telecommunications in remote areas. These sectors are becoming much more dependent on rugged computing. For field operations, often way out in the middle of nowhere, these systems provide reliable data, right? Real-time collection, running diagnostics, maintaining communication links, all in environments that are harsh, often isolated, really challenging. In those places, standard computing just wouldn't last a day. So rugged solutions aren't just an advantage, they're completely necessary for safety, for efficiency, for making decisions based on real-time info, often far from any normal IT support.
So these machines are genuinely enabling work in places that used to be off-limits for digital tech. That's pretty amazing. Now let's shift gears a bit. Something that hit every single industry everywhere. The COVID-19 pandemic. How did that affect the rugged computer market? Did it just slam the brakes on everything, or was it more complex?
It was definitely complex, almost a paradox, really, in how it played out. I mean, yes, the overall market absolutely faced some serious disruption. You had lockdowns, supply chains went haywire, manufacturing slowed right down.
Right, familiar story.
Exactly. But despite all that, the long-term outlook for rugged computers actually stayed surprisingly positive.
That shows some real resilience. What kind of specific problems did they face initially, during the worst of it?
Well, initially, there were pretty significant shortages of key parts, components, and that led to delays in production. It hit things like rotated displays, even entire systems pretty hard. Availability dropped. And also, with travel bans and the general economic slowdown, deployment really suffered in some sectors. Think aviation, transportation areas that normally rely heavily on these devices for day-to-day operations, safety checks, logistics.
Okay, so a definite rough patch. Real setbacks. But you said the long-term view is still good. That's quite encouraging, actually.
It is, because the fundamental need, the reason these durable computing solutions exist in critical applications, that didn't go away. It just got delayed, mostly. So as industries around the world started to recover, started picking up their automation plans again, their expansion projects, that underlying beat is expected to really pick up steam again. It should support future market growth quite strongly. It kind of underscores how essential these devices really are for core operations. The demand was paused, not canceled, which suggests a pretty solid rebound as things normalize.
Okay, so let's try and wrap up this deep dive then. We've looked at rugged computers, these incredibly tough machines. They're not just surviving, they're genuinely working in the most extreme places. Military, heavy industry, thanks to features like, integrated night vision and designs built to handle pretty much anything the environment throws at them. And their growth, it's being really pushed by all this integration of advanced tech like AR, IoT, and this big move towards automation everywhere. But we've also seen the challenges. Surprisingly, lack of awareness is a big one. Plus, shortages of skilled people. And yeah, they do cost more up front. And even though the pandemic caused some initial chaos, the future looks surprisingly strong for these hidden workhorses of the tech world. Which maybe leaves us with a final thought to chew on. As we keep pushing automation, keep exploring even tougher environments, think deep-sea exploration, maybe even space applications eventually. How far can rugged computing actually go? How much further will the boundaries need to be stretched? It seems like these unseen devices are only going to become more critical in our, interconnected and ever-expanding world. Something to think about.
This audio was created with Podcastle.ai